In this video, I'm going to talk about eBGP neighborship over multiple links. This is an interesting topic in BGP and neighborship concept in BGP. Maybe you ask me, what is the neighborship over multiple links? Let's to explain it first, and after that we can configure the eBGP neighborship over multiple links. Look at here. First, assume that we have a link between R1 and R2, and the IP address we used in this link is 10.123.10.120/24. Okay, and also we need a neighborship, BGP neighborship in the between R1 and R2. R1 in AS 65000 and R2 is in AS 65001. And you know that how we can configure BGP between R1 and R2. For example, in R1, I use this command for the neighborship, and here I can use router BGP1, and again neighbor IP, neighbor 10.122, and then remote AS 65001. Okay. And then R2. Also in R2, we can use this command R2. This is R2 router. Here is router BGP 65000. Okay, 65000. And then router BGP 65001. And finally in R2, I use neighbor command, neighbor 10.121 remote AS 65001. Yes, it's 65,000. Yes, it's okay. And the neighborship will be to upstate. Go to upstate and everything is okay. But you know that this is R1 is the edge of one company and R2 is the edge of another company. Okay. And the connectivity of R1, for example, a corporate network to the R2, that is an ISP, okay, is so important for the business of company. For example, company sells some things over internet, or maybe use some cloud applications. Because of that, internet connectivity is so important for the company. Now, I ask you, is it possible that the link between R1 and R2, the link between company and ISP, goes to fail state? Yes, it's possible. Maybe for some reason, for many reasons, it's possible that the connectivity between R1 and R2, and as a result, the connectivity of corporation to internet, go to down state. And because of that, maybe the business of company has experienced many bad things. Because of that, company should solve this problem. Because of that, many companies using another link between their company and ISP. For example, maybe R1 use other link 10.210/24 between itself and also R2. Okay, why? For high availability. Why? For redundancy. Okay, very good. We also should reflect this adding of links in our configuration. One solution for adding this link to the configuration is that configuring another neighbor command. Why? Look at here. If you don't configure neighbor command, when the first link 10.120 is go to the down state or failed, although the second link is available, but because we don't configure any neighbor command, we will not use it. Because of that, we should configure another neighbor command, neighbor 10, for example 212 remote AS, and then 65001, and again neighbor, okay, 10 1 2 1 10 10 2 1 2 1 and remote AS 65,000. Yes, it's okay. Now we have two neighborship between R1 and R2. One neighborship across the uplink or 10.1.2.0/24 subnets, and another neighborship across or over the 10.2.1.0/24. It's okay, but it has one drawback. The drawback is, for example, if you in R2 want to send net A to R1, it should send this route to R1 two times net A, okay? And for example, if we have 1,000 routes, we should send two times this 1,000 routes to the, for example, R1. And you know that in BGP we have so many routes. For example, maybe 10,000, maybe 100,000, and you know that in this time, routing table of internet has more than 700,000 routes. Because of that, if we want to advertise from R2 to R1 all of these routes two times or maybe three times, because maybe we have three paths between R1 and R2, in the R1 we should have huge resources, for example, huge memory and huge CPU, and it's a drawback, okay? Because of that, we don't want and we shouldn't use this method two neighborship configuration, okay? But what is the solution? How we can use both of these links but with only one neighborship, that because that we want only one time sending the updates from R2 to R1. Maybe the solution is that we can configure neighbor command, but for now we can turn off the neighborship neighbor 10.2.1.2 shutdown. Okay, you know this command, and also in the R2 neighbor 10.2.1.1 shutdown. The result of this command is that now we have only one neighborship over the 10.1.2.0/24, and according that we send only one time the update. And when the upper link is failed, we can enable the second neighborship with the no neighbor 10.2.1.2 shutdown and no neighbor 10.2.1.1 shutdown. Yes, you can do it, but in this method also we have a drawback. That drawback is the convergence time. You know that when the upper link goes to fail state, and after that, for example, an administrator should enable the neighborship between R1 and R2, for example, after 1 hour or 30 minutes, and after that all of the routes should send from R2 to R1, and in the duration of this time R1's traffic to, for example, net A goes to failed or discarded. Because of that, this isn't an online solution. We need an online solution. We need, when the upper link goes to down state, immediately we can use from the 10.2.1.0 link, other link. And also we need some type of load balancing or load sharing among these two routes. Because of that, second solution that we shut down a neighbor and then enable, and we shut down the neighbor, and after the failure of one link we re-enable that neighbor. It's not okay. But what is the solution? How can we solve this? I don't want two neighborship, and also I can't use one neighborship over the one of these links, and then in the fail time of that link goes to the other link. What is the solution? I want one neighborship over both of these links. This is the solution. If you can, with some tools, configure a neighborship, not two neighborship, Over both of these links,